You know, ladies and gentlemen, you're wondering what just happened at the end of Monday Night Raw. Did Becky win for the seventh time? But forget about all of that because it seems like our guest tonight, in getting ready to celebrate the big 4-0 this Thursday, might have hit his own seven. And we're going to talk about that live tonight, right now, because after all, seven is a pretty lucky number. And I can assure you that this is real. And in fact, it's so real that he hit the lucky number seven. And he's not even wearing his lucky hat because I got this on for him because I got my work uniform on ready to go. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it feels like it's been a hot skip in a minute since our guest has been back on Sportswire Radio. After all, well, it's really not been that long, but really, we should note that he is our 2023 Personality of the Year. He was our first member of our fifth class in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We famously inducted him right after Taylor and those Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. We turned down Taylor Swift after all, and we wanted our guest here, and we wanted him in the Hall of Fame instead. And of course, what a resume. Nearly 120,000 followers on all of his social media platforms and growing. Will he or will he not have on the big bad Silver Wolf, loose cannon, and so on from Triple W on his Nemesis sessions? But what is the future of Tap Taylor? Well, I know one thing. The future is the big 4-0, and I hope so many of us here that our friends of Sportswire Radio join me Thursday night and celebrate. But right now, I'm in a good mood. It's a prelude. Our guest now is officially the second seven-star man that we know on Sportswire Radio, aside, of course, from the good guy CJ Black, the most recent Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. And these two men yet once again share something else. But let's let him talk because I see him moving his hands. He's famous for that. He is the host of the Nemesis Sessions. He is also the owner of the PWF, not the PWF that I own a portion of. And he is also the man that, as I stated, has nearly 120,000 followers, over millions of views on all of his social media platforms. He needs no further introduction, but because kind of Sportswear Radio is kind of his home, let's give him that introduction because, well, so many people want to hear that introduction, even if they won't admit that they're watching and listening right now on Sportswear Radio because all wrestling matters. So let's get right to it. So with that, wait for it. Further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one. Global Sports Show. The 41st member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Our first member of our fifth class. He is the owner of the PWF, not that PWF, but he's the host of the Nemesis Sessions. He is none other than the legendary Nemesis James Taylor. Mr. Seven-Star James Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing damn well, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, James Taylor, because after all, you are yet another person that has recently been in Sportswire Radio's lore and also in our Hall of Fame that is also now a seven-star person. So now I thought there would only be one seven-star person in our Hall of Fame, but it looks like now we've got two. And after all, as always, the song once stated, it must take two, and it certainly takes two to know him. And James Taylor, I guess we'll open up and say, congratulations.
Well, thank you. I mean, I did everything that I could. I mean, I just did my thing, did my shtick, and it just got rated, and it was a hell of a time, and it was very fun. And I'm glad that everybody enjoyed it. Let's talk about that for a quick second. What did you
Absolutely.
think of What did you think of the Copper Dragons review on my match on a selling aspect of how I did in the ring?
I think that he said some things that were interesting. First of all, obviously the audio editing production, the video production of TBW I do think that he's absolutely right. I would say that TBW's production in terms of their shows and the footage out there by far is one of, or if not the best underground backyard promotion that I watch. And I watch a lot of them. I would probably say VTW would probably be neck and neck with TBW in that. So I think that he was spot on with that. I also think that in terms of some of the moves in the ring he spoke of, in terms of just even wrestlers, I think there was one spot particular where he talked about that pro wrestlers shouldn't try this move. And then you guys going back in there in the outside, and I think also kind of the lockups there. I think that overall his analysis of the match, obviously I would have certainly did it with a lot more flair and certainly, cinematic energy for sure, because that's what we're known here on Sportswire. But I really enjoyed his perspective. As obviously some friends of the show are here, and I want to say hello to them shortly. But I think overall, I mean, and I'll play it here on Instagram here. As a matter of fact, we'll get right to it here in a couple of minutes. We'll actually put it up here, but I mean, that's kind of what I thought about it. I thought some of the things he said were very analytical, if that makes sense to you.
So he's got, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I do talk to him occasionally. And he's been in backyard wrestling. He's a 20
Yes,
plus year
apparently he's
vet.
rated Craven Rage very highly in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
some people would say, huh?
And one thing that I've got that I posted on my Instagram, I don't know if you saw it. I think you did though. But for the first time ever, the Copper Dragon will be live this Sunday around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Nemesis Sessions.
Yes.
And he's going to be talking about all things backyard wrestling and what he did in his career, and if he can, to get things off his chest about what he has seen because of his reviews. So it's going to be very interesting, Tom. And not only that, my gift to you is that after that, he will be reaching out to you to host, not host,
I was
but
gonna
to
say
maybe if
he
you
might want
invite
to take
him.
over.
No, he ain't gonna take over. No. If he could come onto your platform and you and him have a conversation, because I
It's
would
funny
like to see that.
it's funny you said that, and I actually do want to play what he kind of rated on the match with you and Max Chaos, and I think the one thing he was a little down on was kind of what happened after the match, if I recall correctly. He was a little bit down on that, and I think there is always
No
still
big
kind of.
deal.
And I think there's obviously, which I'm sure we'll get into as we always do, that question mark, that hanging Chad for the political fans of kind of your career with certainly the Prophet Jay Wild. And no doubt there'll be somebody coming here real soon that I'm sure might talk about that. But, I think in terms of, him, he's a really, I think, good get. Now, I know obviously we've been pushing you to try to get Overwolf on and Loose Cannon and those, but they might have to wait because that's really, I would say, one of the people, if you think about, let's say, your show, you think about certainly here. I think if you want to throw out their shows like the.
You paused on me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that me? Or is that you, boss man? I think he paused, ladies and germs. Tom, are you still there, boss man? I guess we'll find out what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name is Taft Taylor. I think we lost our host to the sports
I
report.
can't see. There you go. I thought I lost you
There
there,
he
Jim.
is.
What I was saying was, for whatever reason, my Wi-Fi went frozen. Maybe the Silver Wolf was saying we want you to go on or him to go on your show instead. But obviously, my point was I got cut off, was that if you really think about shows like your show, the Wired Up podcast with my buddy Ace Reed, who does a phenomenal job. I think of late what you've seen from Inside the Ropes. Omen's done a very good job hosting with certainly a guy you've wrestled a couple of times, Anthony Steele, probably heard of him. And obviously this platform here, and this platform like yours has obviously been doing this for a long time in the world of wrestling. You probably doing it longer than me in the backyard, but I've been covering the pros longer in terms of that. And I think to have certainly him on your platform or here, he's really one of the rare people that I think we haven't had on our platform. So I think that's a good move, and I think it's a good get. I'll be really looking forward to what he has to say this coming Sunday.
thank you. Yeah, I'm. He said he has a lot to talk about, and that I was like, what does that mean? Hell, bring it on. Let's listen to what you got to talk about. I'd love for that. He's excited
So
for
you're
it.
telling me he's going to
So
talk a little more than when Craven Rage was on here, when your show?
I sure hope so. I sure hope so.
Now,
Uh,
obviously, now that is an interview that a lot of people are still talking about. You and Craven Rage, the backyard nightmare, the ruler of the yard. In fact, so many people were talking about it that I think it made the likes of Loose Cannon have some bravado, the likes of Silver Wolf, the big bad Silver Wolf, to want to come onto your platform and sort of invade because they saw the job Craven Rage did, and they were like, you know what? We can come on to the Nemesis sessions. We can certainly talk about Triple W. We can certainly talk about what we're doing. And obviously, we know that Craven Rage apparently has been ducking Loose Cannon. For all this talk, James Taylor, that originated on your show and my show over the past year about Omen Black and Craven Rage. No, maybe we need to get our ears checked because it hasn't been about that. It's been Loose Cannon, apparently. Loose Cannon has been the one that Craven Rage has been ducking all this time. I never knew.
Tom, I've been stating for the fact that my favorite guy in IMF has been Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon
I thought he
versus
was undefeated too, if I'm not mistaken. Once
he's
upon a time.
undefeated. It was Loose Cannon versus Freddie Daniels. Go back, watch the match if you haven't, ladies
A
and
lot of
gentlemen.
people watched that match, by the way.
We should watch that match live one day and just call. But
If I
anyways,
do,
that's my
I
favorite
gotta be
match.
honest. If I do that, or it's like if I watch the C2K match that he had with Stephen Havoc, I don't think they're gonna like it. Certainly, we maybe could do that. I'm not sure. Just breaking on randomly in a freestyle. Maybe not the night, but Loose Cannon. If I watch Loose Cannon's match live here, I don't know. I certainly I could do that with you,
That might
but
be too much for everybody to see. It might
it
be
might be too
too.
much for Triple W. Triple W, they're trying to get some W's here. They don't want to have any more L's. They're trying to
No.
get a W. Get the sports analogy, trying to get a W, and they've gotten a lot of L's lately. So, they're trying to get a W. But, maybe we'll have to watch when they wrestle in this big backyard brawl that they're going to have. And hopefully, now there's a lot of talk. I know we're going to get to a couple of things here in a minute, but obviously, there are people that have said that the Silver Wolf can't run the ring ropes, and he was certainly very adamant that he can run the ring ropes. But that's a different conversation for a different time.
Well, what if we let these people watch that review that Copper Dragon did with?
I would much rather do that instead of talking about Triple W and C2K's latest rap single. But before I do that, let me get to some plugs here. First of all, let me get to some plugs here. No, but that's what we're here for. And let me say hello to some people here. First of all, want to say hello to one of my buddies, who, by the way, does a great job out there. His name is Michael Christian. And Michael Christian had a great match with Justin Parsley, which I actually did some commentary on. And Michael Christian, longtime favorite of us here in Sportswire Radio. He's one of the few people that actually has a Sportswire Radio shirt. And yes, I gifted him one. Spoiler alert. But obviously want to say hello to Mr. Christian. And certainly he's not related to the single sister Christian from Night Ranger. Want to say hello to a man that was here unexpectedly this past Saturday night, D'Angelo LaFlame. This man is the energy of this sport and Sportswire Radio. He is the Resurrection Wrestling Internet Champion. He was also at AWL in Alabama. He is, I'm sure, going to be in other places down the road if his heart desires. We say hello to him, and I have no doubt he'll be back here very soon. A man that you definitely know very well, and he'll probably be here Thursday night celebrating your birthday, the Big 4-0. You don't look a day over 38 right now, but you're apparently supposed to turn 40. It's a running joke. You're 39.
The damnest thing. Feel like I'm turning 20, actually.
40 is apparently like the new 25. I mean, if you're 40, 40 is, years ago, I remember, as a little kid, 40 meant like a certificate. 40, it's almost like, listen, the WWE champions, Cody Rhodes is 38, if I'm not mistaken. LA Knight's 41. And, Bobby Lashley was the champion once upon a time. He's 45. We can go on, on and on. Just a number. That's it. Age is just a number.
Brock Lesnar's in his mid-40s.
Hey,
Mhm.
now some guy named Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's got to be 51 now. I mean, hey,
51, 52, I think, something like that. I
yeah,
mean, it's just a
yeah,
number. All right.
just
He
a
looked
number.
phenomenal at WrestleMania
In
40.
fact, I'm going to make everybody laugh here. I'm going to actually make everybody laugh here. I want to get to obviously the Cooper Dragon review in a second. I'm going to do that, but I was reading the newspaper because I deliver the newspapers. And this morning there was a woman in there. You'll never believe this, and I hope our audience really gets motivated by this. She's 99 years old. She's still bowling, and 2 years ago she bowled a 202. She's still bowling, and her average
Damn.
is she's still breaking 100, and she still runs a business during the day. And the woman looks like she's probably 25 years younger, and she actually just bowled a 147. It was a big write up in the Staten Island Advance here locally, and I was like, wow, okay, I gotta mention this on Sportswire Radio. So listen, that's telling you that your age, you're really more like an infant. Because if that woman's 99 still competing in athletics, that means Ric Flair really will die in the ring in about 20 years.
Yeah, you're damn right.
All right, let me get to some more comments. I know somebody also who was here that you've had on the show once upon a time in the Nemesis sessions, Nicholas Crenton, who I know will be back here in a little over 2 weeks as the IMF is getting ready for the next show. Good evening, Reverend Mr. Taylor. Thank you very much for that.
Good
Want to
evening.
say hello to one of our buddies who's going to join you in the Hall of Fame coming up 2 weeks from this Thursday, Levi McDaniel. So Levi is a very accomplished vlogger. He's got over 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Please hit that sub button. Want to say hello to somebody else who appeared on Saturday's show, Mr. Joseph Tibbs. Certainly, Mr. Tibbs, we know very well from Resurrection Wrestling. By the way, I've obviously been, keeping up, and we've obviously been in touch. Just want to say my thoughts and prayers, what you're going through with your family, Mr. Tibbs. Thank you for tuning in. Rev, I know you're a part owner of PWF. Fun fact, I made the first logo and Uprising logo when Titan owned it. Thank you very much.
Ain't that something?
I feel like I did know that before. I feel like that came up before once upon a time. Maybe when Titan was here. The first time Titan came here, I think, was right around this year, last from 1 year ago. So yeah.
Brent helped me come up with my TNJT, which is on the shirt that you're wearing right there. So,
Thank you very much for this, Bren. Bren, you are the man.
Brent, you came up with a great logo. I need you to contact me, brother. Contact me on Instagram because I'd like to go over another logo idea for you, and maybe I can give you a little something for it.
And I might buy that shirt, because I might want to buy a James Taylor shirt instead of, apparently there's some talk of some loose cannon merchandise coming out there.
Oh, man, really?
Yeah.
I've been needing some more toilet paper. I mean, a new shirt.
I got to say this real quick, and I wanted to get to the match, but, now I'm warming up. I do feel like we're on the Tonight Show. Somebody must tell me, and maybe help me out this with James Taylor. People say, James Taylor, he hasn't wrestled. James Taylor. But, these guys, I feel like, and again, I love all these guys that come on here. God bless them. It's America, if it's whatever America is still left. But I feel like these guys, there is more podcasters now than some of these guys have actually wrestled wrestling matches. Am I missing something, James Taylor?
Right. And you've been doing your thing for as long. That's you, and you're doing great.
I've been doing this for 5.5 years. Yep. Yeah.
This is your comfort zone. Podcasting isn't mine, but I started it 2 years ago.
Right.
And I just did it for my promo wrestling stuff. And then I transitioned backyard wrestling into it. But I was just doing it just to start talking while we were in between seasons because it'd be cold and rainy and snowy outside.
Sure.
Wasn't wrestling. So we just wanted somebody to talk. And it was also something to keep alive on the channel. And I have the knowledge that I have for wrestling. Not saying I'm the best thing, but I think I have a PhD in that ring. So good enough to at least have a podcast on. But you're right, Tom. It seems that me and you are doing our thing. I do it a different way. You do it the very professional Sportswire way.
No, you go out there. Listen, James, you go out there and say, tell me about yourself. You go out there and say, well, tell me for the audience. You always say we've got over 40,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And, tell me a little bit about yourself. No, you do it in a way that I tell you this all the time. I watched your shows before you came onto the platform and getting to know you last year. And, I watched a lot of the shows you had in the past, obviously with the TBW guys once upon a time, and obviously Anthony certainly, and the IMF guys, so on and so on and so on. But, I think your shows are very informative and professional. I think that, but it shows, but I just want to say this in summarizing this. You've obviously been in this sport since 98. Public speaking, I've actually been doing public speaking going back to my involvement in politics since 2007. So even though I've only been doing podcasting for 5+ years, I've been speaking in the public for 17 years. So in a way,
There you
it's
go.
kind of like you being a veteran in wrestling. You're a
Right.
20 plus year veteran. In terms of doing this, I'm really a 17-year veteran. So automatically it gives us a natural ability. Now, again, God bless all those shows. God bless all those guys. I need a scorecard sometimes to keep up with them, but I do feel like that. I'm not talking about obviously Inside the Ropes. I'm not talking about your show in general, but there are certain shows that I feel like that they've had more shows, or they've had more shows that are out there than there's matches wrestled between these guys. That's all.
They,
That's all I'm saying.
some people, I'm being straight up. Some people don't need to do a podcast. They're clearly doing it just so they can have a some type of a clout. If you're gonna do it, anybody watching, if you're gonna do it right. I do the thing that I do. Tom does what he does because he's been doing it for 17 years, and that's great. I will actually say only other podcasts that I'm kind of interested in, and I'm being straight up, not brown nosing or nothing, but I like Inside the Ropes because I like how straight to the point they are and how they just talk
Well, they
constantly. They
have
got
a
something to talk
perspective.
about.
Well, Omen and Anthony have a perspective that I think cuts what's similar to yours, but they do it in a different way. They have different personalities. So when they speak, they're also talking about their experiences, and they're also doing the show in a different way. So I think that it provides a different opinion. It provides a different feedback. I also want to give honorable mentions. I said it to Ace Reed of the Wired Up podcast. He's had on Jackson Law, Jack Delta, CJ Black, and he's a young up and comer. But yeah, those shows are shows that I would sit back and listen to. I would listen to them because there's informative feedback. Thank you, Brendan. Brendan, by the way, big shout out to Brendan because he's also a friend that does some logo work for my very good buddy, Mr. James Taylor, Nicholas Crenson. I have heard that a lot from a lot of the British guys. I'd be a manager in wrestling, but I'm doing this right now. But thank you for that. But I want to now finally get to this because I want to bring on a guest here in a few minutes. Because I know there's somebody here apparently has got something to say, and maybe it's Craven Raid, maybe Craven. But until then, I'd actually like to get to that big video that made you Mr. Seven Star. I'm going to pull it up here right now for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio. And let's come right now to it. Let's make sure we're on the screen. I'm going to take this off so we can go off here. And boom, 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 boom. I want to take the logo off so we can put the video right back up. Okay, excellent. Here we go. All right, so let's see if this works.
Backyard Wrestling featuring none other than the nemesis James Taylor as he takes on Max Chaos in this excellent battle. And it's good to see TBW has maintained its excellent production quality, which I had complimented many times in the past. Entrances were excellent. Everything was set up nicely as we go for a very, very crisp tie-up. I love that. Beautiful. These are prime examples of what I like to see with tie-ups. Look at this, force off the side headlock for a shoot off, goes for the shoulder block, comes over the drop down. This right here, beautiful. Max Chaos alley-oops him right over the back, sends him for a nice opening bump. And then
Listen to this.
guys, I see so many people try to take over the rope bumps and try to take the clothes on the rope. There are professional wrestlers who don't do it that well. Look at that beautiful suicide dive to the outside on James Taylor. This right, going to take him to the turn post. That is an excellent sell. Look at that right there. This is what I like to see. Look at the trust, the aggression. Goes and breaks the count. Just excellent awareness. We get a great cutoff here by James Taylor. And then here we go into a very nice sequence as far as selling the struggle, is trying not to get pile driven here. I would imagine he was going for either a pile driver or a power bomb like the commentary suggested, but this was a very nice back toss right there. I like that. Toss him right back into the ring. Look at this right here. Going to take him to the corner. And I love the contact in this match. Here, I wish that James would have already been holding that area under his arm where
And I see what he's talking about.
Pele. I think he could have been holding it up to this point, so it would have explained the rollover for Payne. That way it doesn't look like he was purposely rolling over for that beautiful swanton by Max Chaos. As we go for the count, we get a 2 count, very nicely done there. Again, the working punches in this were excellent. We go to a matted front face lock here. I would have liked to seen a little bit of chain off here for this transition, but a fire up was fine in this case from James as they get up to a vertical base. And
Listen
I like
to the storytelling he
aggression
talks.
here. I like
Right
that
here.
he was still holding it. And he gets the arm loose, shoots off, and then gets cut off. That was very good storytelling there. Beautiful enziguri there. Look at this, going to go to the corner for some chops. I think these could have sounded off a little bit better, but he made good contact, so it definitely was effective. That was fantastic. I love that. Look at this right here. Beautiful knee raise cutoff. And this one thing James is good at, I've noticed, he executes good cutoffs at the right time. Very nice vertical suplex there. Look at this beautiful front drop kick by Max Chaos. I love that. That people underestimate how effective a standing drop kick is, or even a front drop kick. Beautiful elbow drop there. And for the finish, we get what looks to be an attempted phenomenal forearm here, but it's cut off by James Taylor. Kick to the midsection. Beautiful stunner executed. Beautiful sell there. We go for the cover. Referees being excellently proactive. Look at that 1, 2, and 3. That's our match. And I love the follow-up. And I think I had reviewed James Taylor versus Prophet, but Prophet comes out after James Taylor cuts a promo in the ring, and we get a little standoff here. Here, I wish that the spot would have been instant. Having this individual as a distraction was a good idea. However, I think all this needed to happen a lot more faster and fluidly. I mean, it's supposed to be a preemptive, counter strike. It's supposed to be a surprise. And I think even if the dude had hit a black hole slam, that would have added something to this. But still, just very enjoyable watch. And it's great to see TBW still going strong. We return the.
There you go.
Click it off. Yeah. So I think he gave you officially though. Was it 6.2?
6.2, yeah, and that was the whole thing. And
you're gonna now on Sunday's show tell him, can you raise my score up a little bit?
No, I ain't worried about that. I told him I just wanted to know the feedback of what he thought of my selling job. I didn't expect him to rate it, but I mean, even just from that work right there, and it wasn't even to me a super high quality match. That was a high ranking.
It was a fun match. I remember watching the match. I remember watching it when it took place last summer. It was a fun match. I mean, again, not to go into the semantics, but I think it was, really, I think some of the spots, the enziguri was well talked about, the vertical suplex, the back, almost not the back toss, but kind of the reversal where you kind of like, we're trying to do the pile drive. That was a good little move. The outside.
And I do a lot of cutoffs. It's something that some people don't point out. He pointed that out, how I do cutoffs in the ring. Like I'm getting a lot of my.
I tell you what I appreciate about Mr. Dragon is that he certainly, you could tell that he knows his analytical information in terms of being in the sport. So he clearly can talk about things that other people can't. That's why he's going to be a great interview, and I cannot wait for that. So it's going to be Sunday, 1 o'clock East, 2 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Central time. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, make sure you go to Taft Taylor on YouTube. You better watch this one. This one's going to be one again. Mr. Dragon does not do many interviews. I couldn't even think of where has he ever done a podcast. I mean, unless he's going on C2K show, the C2K show. Maybe he's going on the Zack Attack show. I don't know, but he's on the Nemesis sessions, and we're going to be talking about this a lot this Thursday. And before we bring our guest on, Thursday night, you better be here. If you're out there, 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So maybe if you're celebrating Passover, make sure you bring a little bit of cider. Make sure you bring some matzah and you celebrate with us because the Nemesis James Taylor is turning the big 4-0. And I'm hoping so many of our friends on Sportzwire Radio come in and join us and celebrate. So if you're Nicholas Crenson out there, pop in and say hello. If you're D'Angelo LaFlame, don't be shy. Say hello. If you're Alan Michaels, apparently, because Alan Michaels is going to be here Wednesday night, 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And if you're Alan Michaels, even if you're coming back to TBW, we know you're going to be staying trendy. So right after TBW 160, come on down and celebrate the Nemesis James Taylor. But, he's been waiting. He apparently has got something to say. He's now become a successful podcaster in his own right. He's now certainly become a successful talker. You know him, obviously, as the NOCW First Blood Champion. He is also in our Hall of Fame. He is the co-host of the IMF's Inside the Ropes. We are talking about none other than a man that you have wrestled not once but twice, and we certainly hope one day there'll be a rubber match. I am talking about none other than the real deal, Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele, How are you today? Wearing an AC/DC shirt. Somebody must be on a highway to hell, and somebody must be ready for some Hell's Bells. And something
That's
tells
some
me tonight
horrible
you're going to
fucking
certainly
grammar.
shoot to thrill, to quote some AC/DC lingo there for us. Anthony,
100%.
how are you tonight, Anthony? How you doing?
I don't know if I'm fucked up on your side, but that shit's like zoom the fuck in. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix
You
that.
want me to vertical it? You want me to go back to the
Just-
vertical? Is that what you like better?
How the fuck is
Oh, I go like this. I go like this. James liked the big one. I went with
You're
James.
good, right? You're good, right? Well, you was.
Well,
Quit
we see,
moving the damn
we see more
camera.
tattoos. Have you got more tattoos since your last came on?
Scoot over to the.
Did the missus approve of the tattoos?
Yeah.
Scoot over to your left a little bit.
Yeah, you might want to move. We might want to see you.
Yeah, keep going. Go exactly where your hand is. Okay.
Come on,
now-
come on, we want to see you. Loose Cannon's waiting for you.
yeah,
Come
loose
on,
cannon's
man.
waiting.
What is wrong with this? What the fuck?
Oh, if you
I
get-
It
thought
is
you
work
become a
perfectly
successful
fine.
podcaster, by the way, by now.
he said
I mean,
he's
you
not-
become so
he-
successful.
There
Anthony,
you go.
Anthony, you become so successful. You and James can take over Sportswire. As a matter of fact, Anthony, apparently you're going to be interviewing me, as a matter of fact, coming up on May 5th, 13 days from there, 12 and a half days from now, because I'm going to be on your show, technically, the IMF's Inside the Ropes. So
There we go. There we go.
I don't think he's listening, Tom.
I am listening.
Well,
Okay.
how you doing, Anthony? Are you good now?
I'm good. All right.
So what's
So
on your mind?
You're coming on here onto my show,
Oh yeah.
Tom. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
good
I
to see
got to
you,
talk
buddy.
some business. Got to talk some business.
So
Well,
now,
what
I guess,
about? Does it have anything to do with me?
No.
no,
No, no.
it doesn't. So I guess then you're
Because
taking
I don't
some-
want to make the show all about me now.
Oh no,
But
no, you're
I
good.
guess
what
you're
I
taking
do.
somebody's
not about-
spotlight. I
It's,
thought
it's
James
actually
did that,
it's
by the
actually
way.
not about. It's not about James Taylor.
Okay.
It's not about resurrection that y'all now seen Anthony Steele with
I gotta say that was a cool moment.
two champions,
and
one
on Instagram,
resurrection,
by the
and one
way,
and a half of the owners.
on Instagram, I think like over 300 plus people viewed that alone on Instagram. So people really seem to be into that. That was a cool moment, by the way.
No, what we're going to talk about is
Oh, God.
NOCW.
Okay, NOCW. Well, I don't have.
NOCW Grand Stage just transpired on Saturday night.
Yes, I'm
Which
aware.
the
Of that.
video I should be uploading the video this weekend, sometime
Okay.
probably around Saturday or Sunday. If y'all want to
Yeah.
check out my match, y'all are about to figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. So
Okay, I
let me
remember-
set the stage for Grand Stage.
Go for it.
Anthony Steele goes on the press conference Thursday night, and
I saw
that's
that.
what he does best. He promotes.
Yes.
He promotes his upcoming show, promotes his upcoming match that I have no clue who the fuck I'm facing.
Damn. That's
Sounds
tough.
like a typical independent show that's probably not coordinated. Okay. I'm aware of that lingo. Go ahead.
I get a call Friday night. It was right before SmackDown. And he goes, "Hey, there's a show in Memphis. I want you to come out here and help me promote the show." All right, that's fine. I tell my girl, I'm like, "I'll be back. I love you." And she's like, "Don't be late." Come to find out I was back at like midnight. But it happens.
Well,
1:30. My
hopefully,
bad.
hopefully
Same
she
thing.
forgives you.
I got pulled over by a cop in a loaner car because they fucked my shit up.
Oh, that's not good.
So I go out and I promote the show. I hand out the flyers. I talk to some of the guys in the back. And one of the guys that I kept my eye out on is, for all that is watching, y'all know that the Fallout series came out on Amazon Prime.
Correct.
Side note, great show. Go watch it. Great storyline. And a dude there had custom gear that was Fallout. And so I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I hit up my girl and be like, "Hey, you'll never believe this." My girl's a big Fallout fan. I was like,
Okay.
"You never believe this." Dude has some Nuka-Cola merch, but it's his logo. And I'm like, okay. He inherited it from Fallout and used it. So after the show's done, I go back and I get to sit down and talk to him. All right. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him, and we exchange info, and then comes Saturday night. I get told I'm facing him. I'm facing the dude that I just went and met for the first time the day before. Okay. So I finally get to sit down and actually have a conversation with him. 20-year vet. He's traveled all around the U.S. competing. So I'm a little antsy. And we go over our match. We do all this shit. And we go out there and I tell a story. Let me break kayfabe a little bit. I'm a heel turning baby. For
Ah,
all of y'all that don't know what that fucking means, it means I'm a bad guy.
sounds like
Getting my
kind of
ass-
what's happened in the podcast world. A few months ago you might have been a heel, and it seems like lately on these shows you kind of have been turning the other side. What kind of
Well, this is about to be a heel moment, so get ready, guys.
Okay, well,
Um,
certainly, if you're out there, certainly cover your ears.
So we do the match. I sell the story. He's whooping my ass. I have my comebacks. He goes back down whooping my ass. I do my final comeback. Go to hit my finish. He reverses it. He hits me. I can't remember. Oh, with a Michinoku driver.
Oh, wow.
Goes up top. Swanton bomb. 1, 2, 3. I lose the NOCW First Blood Championship.
Oh, man.
Okay.
That sucks.
Post match beatdown happens. I'm now kicked out of the Undead Outlaws. Thank fucking God for that. Well, the worst fucking mistake that they ever put me in, and I'm fucking glad that I'm out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad.
So, we did not go over. We went over that it was just a post-match beatdown. James, you're in the wrestling industry. You know this. Anything that has to do with weapons, you talk beforehand, correct?
Of course.
That way you understand what is going to happen.
I mean,
what
I
is
got to
going
interject for a second. You said now this match was basically 24 hours notice, right?
20. No, the match with him was. I think we had an hour to prepare.
Right, but you knew he was your opponent the day prior, right?
No, an hour. That's all we had.
You met him the day before.
I met him the day before. It wasn't
Okay.
announced until an hour
So-
before the match happened.
Well,
That
this is where I'm going with this because I know this a lot from a lot of the British guys who are obviously big friends of the platform. We have a guy coming on, actually wrestled the Billington Bulldogs Wednesday morning, so I doubt who will be here, but that's how it goes. But it sounds to me like then, correct me if I'm wrong, there was really no preparing for this match.
No, not really.
No, you can't tell me. I've done this long enough that you only knew your opponent was an hour beforehand. It was basically like you guys went out there and called it in the ring, basically.
Yeah.
Which
So
makes for a really bad
well,
experience.
we actually the match went great. The fans loved it.
The fans
loved it. So the post match beatdown happens, and I didn't know I was taking chair shots, a DDT to a steel chair, and 3 consecutive concertos.
Oh,
Did not know this was happening. One of them caught me.
How are
in
you
my
still
eye.
here
Caught
with
me on the
us?
side of my eye.
and how are you here with us right now?
Magic.
Well, it sounds like it.
I healed pretty fast.
Okay. I hope.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So we go to the back, and the dude looks at me in front of all the boys and the owner. Says, because I told him I was only been doing this for about a year and a half beforehand. Indie. I've been doing indie work for about.
Well, right. I was gonna say because we've known you a lot
Yeah.
longer than that in your career.
So I've been doing indie work for about a year and a half. Noted,
That's
this
like-
dude is a 20-year vet on the indies by itself.
So he's probably wrestled realistically in his career independently. I'd say anywhere between, if he's a true veteran, at least 500 matches.
More than that. Wait.
Well, you do the math. Not everybody's a weekly guy. The weekend, if he's a weekend warrior,
He averages 3 to 4 shows a week.
okay, so then he would be what you'd call like a Martin Kirby in the UK. So he's probably wrestled then realistically in his career, probably well over 2,000 matches then.
So we get down to the back, and he tells me in front of everybody in the locker room and the owner, that kid did better than what I thought he would. That kid did better than what the fuck you put him out to be. I love the match that happened. It was fucking great. He protected me. He made sure I was safe. He sold every move properly that I gave him. He hit me. He wasn't afraid to actually hit me, because I guess there's guys that wouldn't actually do it. Like, I didn't sock him, but you know how it is, James. And he goes, I want to work with him again. I will make sure I work with him again. So then we go into the back, and we walk away for a minute, and he goes, I can't wait for our rematch. And I was like, well, supposedly that's not in the cards. He stops in his tracks, looks at me dead in my eyes. He says, I'm going to make sure you have a rematch when we face again.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's
That's
respect.
So
You clearly earned
vet
his
just
respect.
told this 20-year vet just told this guy that's working the Indies for a year and a half that I fucking did a great fucking job and he will work with me.
All right.
So then we go on later on the night. We're in the parking lot. We're just shooting shit, and he tells me if I want extra training, I'll come train with him. And if we're ever in the same territory again, if I want to get some bookings, he'll help me get some bookings. Fucking bet. I'm okay with that. End of the show happens. I'm in the rafters. I'm watching this show, which is what the plan was. I was supposed to disappear, go to the rafters, and wait for the end of the show. So I'm sitting there. No one's paying me any attention up there. No one knew I was up there until they pointed me out. Okay. Main event happens. It is now the Undead Outlaw leader versus the leader of the Hottest Heat. Tashawn the One, the owner of NOCW. The ending was supposed to be Hottest Heat and Associates get into it with the Undead Outlaws. They go to the back. Leaves Tashawn the One and Damien in the ring by themselves. Tashawn looks up at the rafters. They finally check and see that it's me. I come down. I claymore Damien. Tashawn hits his finisher. Damien wins the title. Easy, right? Fuck no. So they all stay out there. Have this fucking brawl that goes on for like 10 fucking minutes. Would not stop. Finally, I come down. I'm setting him up in the position because I asked him beforehand. And guys in the backyard know what I'm talking about. I ask every single person. I ask James this every time I face him. James, do you want to take a real claymore or do you want to take a backyard claymore?
Really?
What does that mean?
Like, are you gonna hit me, or are you just gonna give me a little? Like,
Am I gonna claymore you or am I gonna claymore you?
oh well, yeah, right here.
One thing on the brawl, right? You said the brawl was 5 to 10 minutes. Did the brawl go overtime? Is that where you got
The
a little
brawl
bit?
continued to happen.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that
No
makes
one
sense.
went to the back.
Okay.
So he said he's going to take the backyard one.
And by the way, I want to give a big shout out to one of my buddies, Big Tex, who's from DBW. I want to give him a big plug because he's a big fan of yours, Anthony. He watches a lot of our streams. He's got a big match coming up for the World Extreme title in Dominant Breakout Wrestling. And Big Tex, there's actually something coming down the pike for you that you might want to watch on Thursday's Thursday Night Thunder Punch. That's all I'm going to say. So Big Tex just wanted to give his love to both you guys. So I just wanted to just say that. Sorry, Anthony, go ahead.
So much love. Damien said, James, I want your honest opinion on this. Damien said he want to take the backyard way. Shoulder peck area. For him, titties. All right. Time comes. Tashawn hands me the kendo stick. Damien won't come out of the corner. He's literally standing directly in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to hit this move, I'm either getting caught in the ropes or I'm going to hit him and slide completely out of the ropes and hit the ground.
Right.
So I'm making audible. I keep telling him, we can't fucking just be like, hey, fucking move. So I'm like, come here.
Yeah.
Come on. He wouldn't move. So he got a real one. Straight to the fucking face. Jumped up. Kicked that motherfucker. Bow. Claymore. He's pissed.
He's pissed.
He's pissed. Time for payout. Time for PO. As people would say.
Yeah.
He's dealing with traveling talent. Okay. So then Casey has an issue. She needs to go home. Or she needs to leave. We'll just say that. I'm not going to put my girl's business out there like that.
I would hope, Anthony. I mean, you could put out your wrestling business out, but the missus may want to say Anthony, just.
Okay, hold on. For all my GTS fans out there, here, I'll say it without saying it. Where the fuck did James go?
I'm right here.
It's black.
He's getting ready for his 40th birthday, mister. That's what he is. He's counting down the hours.
I will say one phrase, and every GTS fan will know what I mean when I say this. Red Mist period dragon.
Oh, okay.
So we have to handle our business. So I told
Gotcha.
him, I was like, you got my Cash App, send my PO to my Cash App. Don't get nothing that night.
You don't.
So I wake up, still nothing.
Uh-oh.
I'm texting him, no response.
No.
I'm calling him, no response. It finally hits about like 4:30 in the afternoon. He's like, all right, let me get my headpiece. I'm gonna call you.
Oh, God.
All right.
And this doesn't happen to you regularly with this company?
No,
Nobody
no,
happen?
no, 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 no. The last 2 shows I've appeared on, I've gotten paid.
Okay, I see. I want to make sure. Okay.
So he calls me. And his words beforehand is, if we're gonna have a talk, we're gonna have a private conversation, man to man. Business is business, and business it gets handled between two individuals. So he calls me, and then he adds another local talent that I know, that I'm cool with. And then he goes in. Basically, long story short, my match was dog shit to him. My match was dog shit.
So it doesn't matter that the veteran said that it was great.
Yeah. Because supposedly a promoter was there, and because I was wearing joggers and sneakers. Also, hold on. Coming from the dude that says I shouldn't wear a fucking t-shirt during a match, I take my fucking t-shirt off. I'm not the fittest motherfucker, but I'm not fat as fuck. Like, I got my muscle tones, boy. I know how to fucking stay in the goddamn fucking gym. And this is coming from a dude that weighs almost 2 times my fucking size, telling me that I took my shirt off with no muscle tone. Basically trying to come at my aesthetic, my weight.
So
Homie,
then
I
if,
look better than you any fucking day of the week.
So then if Dusty Rhodes himself walked in there tomorrow, if he was still, God rest his soul, would he say the same thing to him? Mick Foley.
Exactly.
Kevin Owens, Vader. What do you say?
Kevin Owens.
How about those
He
names?
basically, hold on, I'm gonna give you everything now, because now it's time for Anthony Steele to be Anthony fucking Steele once again. He basically tells me my match was dog water. If the dude thinks he can book me other places, go do that. If he can do better business than him, which he can, and he's not paying me. He shouldn't have to pay me for what I've done. So I looked at him dead to his face and I said, so me taking a chair shot that wasn't planned, that hit me in the side of my fucking eye, getting DDT'd into a fucking chair that I still have a knot on the top of my goddamn head that wasn't fucking planned. I don't get paid for that. I fucking did a match with a 20-year fucking vet that loves working with me and has only worked with me fucking one goddamn time and wants to continue to work with me and make sure there's a goddamn fucking
You
rematch.
sure the veteran couldn't be by any chance BSing you?
Oh no, he's okay. Without putting out his business, he's like me. He's like me.
Okay,
He's straight. He's a straight shooter.
Because there's a lot of people again, and this comes from me. I come from the political world. Now people will tell you, "Oh yeah, you're great," and then they're afterwards BSing you and bullshitting you. That's the only reason I ask.
I don't think he would abruptly admit to everybody in the locker room that he'd work with me again and guarantee me a rematch just to BS me.
Gotcha.
So basically, he's not paying me. Okay. So I told him, I asked him, why? Because I took my shirt off, then it looked like an aesthetic. I made him look like shit. He doesn't like my Pele kick. I'm too big to do a Pele kick, I guess.
We've all loved it here on Sportswire, though. We've talked about the kick all the time. I don't understand who is this individual?
Here's the funny thing.
Promoter? He sounds like a bum already.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna promote my dude, even though he don't need it. Draven Lee, much respect. I love you, man. I would love to work with you again. We will figure out a time and a fucking place to do it. He even said that he was like, that Pele kick was one of the best.
We've talked.
I caught him right here where you're supposed to.
We've talked about the kick thousands of times on Sportswire. I'm not sure who this guy is, this promoter is, and frankly, he sounds like to me a promoter I certainly wouldn't even piss on. But go ahead.
Well, the funny thing is, I've been told through my entire career never to work for him, and that when I told people I was working for him, I've got shot down from companies because I work for him.
What was that?
So
maybe he might be better in Triple W instead.
He won't pay me. Okay. As
Oh,
y'all
God.
saw, the Resurrection Boys were out there that night. Shout out.
Oh, that what
And
a
then-
no! I gotta be honest. That was a cool moment. I gotta be honest, and I said it after you left the show. That was a moment that's about all wrestling matters. That's about
So-
one of the things I said when CJ Black was here the day before, and I say together we will win. That exactly showed that together we can do anything, and that was a cool moment.
Here's something that y'all never thought I'd say. So I'm gonna look directly in the camera when I say this. Hey, Resurrection! Shout out to Resurrection and the boys, D'Angelo the Flame, Drake the Gold Dragon, Joseph Tibbs, Ronnie Brody. Shout out to y'all.
West Memphis Kid, Ronnie Brady.
Shout out to Resurrection Wrestling as a whole.
And
Y'all
maybe
doing good.
shout out to, but it might be a good time to say shout out to my guest next
Shout
Monday
out
night.
to Jack Spade. What
He's
you
here
doing, man?
Monday night, by the way.
What you doing, man? How you doing?
He's here next Monday night with us on Sportswire,
so-
by the way. That's what he'll be doing.
Not to put their business out, but it got brought into this conversation. So at that point, it does become my business. Tashawn looked at me.
Gotcha.
Tashawn is the owner of NOCW. By the way, if anyone doesn't know, tells me name one person I didn't pay from the show, and I will give you your payout. Y'all hear that, right? I name one person he didn't pay, I get my payout. Ronnie Brady, D'Angelo the Flame, and Drake the Golden Dragon did not get paid that night. Here's his reason. D'Angelo the Flame and D'Angelo, this is going to be the first time you're hearing this because I know you're in here. D'Angelo the Flame and Drake the Golden Dragon are yarders that are not trained, so he's not paying them. But he booked them on their show. They had their match as the opening match. And Ronnie Brady agreed to not get paid, but he just paid him for the ring that they used. That was Resurrections. False. False. Still doesn't pay me my fucking money.
So he's a bullshitter.
So I finally looked at him after having, I think about, hold on. I could probably tell you how long it was. I'd say probably about a half an hour. 45-minute fucking call with him. I finally looked at him. I was like, this ain't going nowhere. You're going to say no. You're not going to pay me my money. You're going to sit here and just fucking bullshit. So you have a nice night, and I'm going to go. And I hung up. And the last thing I heard come from his mouth was, all right, I guess.
Well, you know what? Since you're out there now, again, I don't even know who you are. I mean, I forgot who you are. I don't even know who your company is. I mean, NOCW could be NOC sucks, but if you didn't pay an individual, no, I got this, Anthony. I know, Anthony, you're obviously trying to turn a new leaf, but I don't even know who this bum is. But clearly, this bum who didn't pay you, Anthony, clearly, A, he stinks as a promoter. B, he stinks as a businessman. C, he stinks for a man of his word. And D, I mean, honestly, this man, he is no man. In fact, he's a coward. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite. He's a fraud. He's bogus. He's an imposter. And as far as I'm going to say it right here, this individual, you're never welcome on this platform. And this individual, if I saw you lying on a corner for not paying people that went out there and put their bodies on the line for you and your company, for your individuals, for who you wanted to do to promote your thing, if I saw you lying in an alley and you were currently burning, I wouldn't even piss on you. I would basically let you burn in the alley and burn. No. Because you know what? As the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, your voice of all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce, I take very seriously that people come onto the platform. I take very seriously that people go out there and put their bodies in the ring to go out there and do it for the true love of this sport of wrestling. Even if you don't like somebody, right? For whatever reason, you came up with an excuse because you didn't like Anthony, you didn't like D'Angelo, you didn't like Drake, and that's fine. You're absolutely entitled not to like anybody you want. But these guys risked their bodies to go out there and try to help you as a promoter, help you as a businessman, and help what you're doing to sell tickets. And you didn't have the decency to go out and pay them, even if you said, you know what, I didn't have the money, I couldn't have it. You know what? All right, I would totally respect that, at least that you showed some type of, I guess some type of moral standing. But this individual clearly doesn't. And listen, I took an oath in my life. I took an oath to be an elected official, to be a New York City commissioner of deeds. I took an oath to be honest to people and to never let anybody down, never to be fraudulent, always to go out there. And when I put that hand on the Bible and went like this, I always make sure that anybody that comes on here, anything I do in my life, and I'm also a reverend, by the way, so I take this very seriously, that I represent people. And people that come on here, I represent them to give them a story. Even if we don't always think we agree with all of them, we try to give everybody a fair shake. But this individual, and I know, Anthony, you're chomping at the bits, but I'm actually going to handle this for you. Because to me, I'm upset that somebody actually came on here and said, you know what? This person, again, this knucklehead, this hillbilly, this yuckster, this Johnny come, I don't even know anything about you. I don't even know who you've promoted. I don't even know anything about your promotion. I probably wouldn't even watch it if I was basically forced to. And again, I know we're All Wrestling Matters here, but you're not a part of All Wrestling Matters. You're clearly a part of all fraudsters, because you are a fraud. You are a hypocrite. You are somebody that certainly has no balls. You don't have any straight principles as a businessman. So therefore, I would say anybody out there should not go and watch NOCW. Therefore, I should also say that anybody shouldn't go out there and go support NOCW. Now, I'm sure this guy's going to say, well, this guy only has backyard wrestlers on. No, actually, I don't, sir, because actually, I have a Hall of Fame. I'm going to tell you who's in my Hall of Fame. I don't even remember who your name was, by the way. Who's in my Hall of Fame? Luke Leyland, the first person to have ever fought in Dambe outside of any other country in the African Warriors Fighting Championship with 500,000 followers. Jason Facina, the head coach of the United States amputee men's soccer team. United States. RPT, a protege of William Regal, the only person ever in the entire country of Britain to be a wrestling and major boxing champion. I could go on. Dean Allmark only defeated a couple of guys named Jushin Thunder Liger, Brian Danielson. Everybody's talking about Brian Danielson just now, but Dean Allmark beat him on more than one occasion. So the point is, I'm sure this guy could come at me, and you know what? God bless you. But to the fact that you didn't have the decency to pay individuals that went out there and put their blood, sweat, and tears out there, to win out there to perform in front of your fans, to win out there and put their safety out there with your talent and put over your talent, and you ask them to perform on the show? Well, you are a bozo, you are a fraud, you are a hypocrite, you are a liar, and you know what? I'm going to say it. You are a jack fill in the blanks, and you are somebody.
Jack off. Jackass.
Well, we're a family station, but the point is that you are never welcome on this platform. And Anthony, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to do it for you, because you know what? I'm not in the wrestling business. So if anybody wants to come at me, go ahead. Because you know what? You didn't have the decency to go pay people. And I want to say this out there. As a man of myself that gives people the opportunity we have an internet radio station. We give podcasters the opportunity to live their dreams. I do that out of my own pocket every single month. I put money out there to allow podcasters to be on an internet radio station so they can have confidence, so they can feel like they can continue to have their dreams. We have a Hall of Fame here, the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame, which many people watching this right now are in. And that gives people the opportunity to sell themselves, to promote themselves. We have a platform here, which we give many people across the week the abilities, which I sacrifice my time for, because I believe in the people, I believe in the platform, and I believe in the words, all sports matters and all wrestling matters. And clearly, again, I forgot your name. I don't even want to remember your name, but all I'm going to say is that you got some nerve, and I'm going to tell you something. You should certainly, if you have a license out there in the state of Tennessee, Mississippi, wherever you're from, you should
don't need a license.
You should have whatever it is. You should not be in the business, and you don't have any business, and you're an imposter and you're a fraud. I could go on and on about you. But
Can I tell you something?
You could jump in, because I could go on for the next 45 minutes.
I'm going to say this. You know what I found out today? Just today.
And what did you miss real quick? Nicholas Crenton, Anthony Steele, D'Angelo the Flame, Drake Golddragon, and the West Memphis Kid, Ronnie Brady, just worked some company show, some company's name I've even forgot of. And these guys went out there and busted their tails. They put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. And this knucklehead promoter, who has no business to call himself a promoter, decided not to pay them, because basically he didn't want to pay them, because probably what he really did was he was trying to make sure his own pocket was lined up, and he screwed the people that went up. Because here's the truth, because I know this. I'm a businessman. I know Anthony chomped at the bit, but now I'm going to talk, because I'm going to stick up talk for my guys here, because here's the bottom line. I'm a guy that knows I have made thousands and thousands of dollars in a week. So I know what happens. I know what business people think. I know what happens. This guy saw that he wanted to line his pocket. And he said, you know what? Let me skim this off the top. Let me skim that. I can't screw a 20-year veteran. I need him back in the ring. I need this guy back in the ring. I need whoever else. But I'm going to take these young guys in here because they're 20 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old. What does it matter to them if they traveled 4 hours to my show? What does it matter to them if I spent $30 on gas? What does it matter if I lost a day's pay? What does it matter if I lost time with my family or my girlfriend and kids? So that's what that guy did. You know what? You're a joke. You're a jerk. You're a bad man. And I'm going to tell you something. The Lord is going to strike you down. He's going to punish you. I'm going to tell you real talk for a second. Real talk. This is going to be real talk for a second. Tom Bryce talking man to you, buddy. To man. I want you to hear this because I know you're listening out there. I know you're watching. What you did, God is going to strike you down. And I'm promising you, you're going to not know when it comes, but you're going to certainly remember because karma comes back to people. And karma is a fill in the blanks. I promise you, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And even if you didn't like these guys went out there and put their blood, sweat, and tears out there, and you didn't pay them. I promise you, for that $40, $50, whatever it was, each guy you were going to pay them, oh, it's going to come back to you. Trust me on that. I'm going to tell you because I'm the man. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you why that is because when I was hired to work in the New York State Senate 12 years ago, I sat in a chair of a man who took $1.5 million in bribes. That man got karma right back to him. He got sent to jail. I'm going to tell you something, buddy. You're going to have karma come back to you real soon. Trust, just like the guy, when I got hired to work in the New York State Senate for a very brief period for a cup of coffee, when I worked in the chair I sat in, the guy took $1.5 million in bribes. And just like you, buddy, you decided to take your own bribe and not pay Anthony Steele, D'Angelo LaFlame, Drake Goldragon, and Ronnie Brady. You're gonna have that come back to you. I promise you that. Trust
you want
me.
to hear? You want to hear what I found out, guys?
Go for it, because I'll spend
One.
20 minutes on this guy, and I'm taking away your spot. And I'm taking poor James's spot tonight, because now I'm fed up, because this is supposed to be about all wrestling matters. It's supposed to be about all sports matter, and this guy didn't do that.
So James, I found out this dude has only been working for a year, wrestling for a year. Has been properly trained, but owns his own company. Also, has only, to my knowledge, ever since I've been in the company, and I've been in the company for a year and a half, or I'll say about a year, lost the title to Damien at Resurrection Wrestling, and then the show Saturday won it right back.
Listen, I don't need this guy. To me, I don't even want to talk about this guy because this guy, what he did was a bad thing. Let me tell you something. He didn't pay people. That's dishonorable. That's very dishonorable what he did.
Right before I came on here, he went on this little podcast on Facebook, and goes to shit on the company we went and watched on Friday. So, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Steele is now in talks with that company and will most likely be making an appearance at Commit to Wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to work out some details. We're going to figure out some shit, and I'm going to go work for that promotion. But the thing about it is like, as you said, if I'm going to sit here, if D'Angelo's going to sit here, if Drake the Gold Dragon's going to sit there, if Ronnie Brady's going to sit there.
But this could be anybody out there. I want to say hello to my buddy Justin Parsley. By the way, Justin is doing a great job out there because we're getting XCW back on Sportswire. Thank you, Justin. There's a lot of people here, Big Techs, other people here. And this could happen to anybody. And that's why I'm upset. I'm upset, Anthony, at this because this could happen to anybody that comes on Sportswire, anybody that's in the Hall of Fame. And I take that personally because you're in my Hall of Fame. A lot of these guys are here. They come on each and every week. And I don't like when somebody's mistreated. And you know what? If you have a problem, you give my telephone number. I'm gonna tell you something. That guy, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm real upset about this because anybody that's here, this could happen to. And this shows you the dirty dealings and the corruption and all the nepotism and all the BS in this sport that happens. Now, I'm a guy, people, and Jack Spade, I'm going to call out Jack Spade in a good way because Jack Spade, I was speaking to him, he said, Tom, you're the only guy that calls it like it is. You're the only guy that believes in fairness. You're the only guy that believes in independence. Why? Because I've seen it first, because I come from the real world of the real BS that happens all the time. I've seen things that most people would not even think that's in real life, but it has happened. And that's why I'm upset, because this is happening to our own people here, and I will not tolerate it. I will not stand. Just like when people say things about other people. Listen, you're not always going to agree with me, but I will always go to bat, and I will fight like hell for anybody here. If anybody has any problems with anybody out there, you tell them to me, and I'll come out live on Sportswire, and I'll address it, because now I'm really upset. This is for real talk. Justin Parsley might be the first real wrestler. Anthony Steele, you might be the real deal, but this is real talk here. I'm very upset right now about this.
Well, Tom, hold on, give me like 10 seconds. The way I look at it is this, man. You win, you lose some. You learn everything that you do is a learning experience. And I have learned that maybe I should have took the words from a lot of people a lot sooner and left.
Well, I can't help you on that, unfortunately. I can't help you on that.
Now I'm gonna have to sit there and talk to Draven and tell him, be like, hey, so there's not gonna be a rematch between me and you because I'm gone. And he's gonna have to sit there and ask me why. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell him we worked our match. Deshaun said I made you look like shit, that I look like shit, and basically it's gonna be one for the ages of that conversation. But I will say this. I'm gonna ask James a question.
Hi, James. James went black. Maybe it's like, on Facebook, people are going black like for mental awareness, mental health. Maybe James is going black for mental health awareness.
There we go.
James, I got a question for you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I got a question for you, buddy.
I got an answer.
Thursday. I'm gonna try to post this video a lot sooner. Thursday. On your birthday, would you like to call my latest NLCW match for me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
We'll call it
and you two, the Reverend Tom Bryce and the Nemesis James Taylor, can tell me word for word your actual thought on my match. Because every single other person that was in attendance loved my match. Dude, I had a kid come up and ask me
matches before on Sportswire.
Dude, here's something that I've never done. Well, at least never done on the indies yet. I had someone come up and ask for my autograph at the end of the show. And I signed their fucking hoodie. So, like, obviously I'm doing something right. Obviously, I grabbed the audience attention. And
that's what you're supposed to do.
Like, Parsley.
You did tonight, Anthony.
Hey, Parsley.
Yes, Justin Parsley.
Except, you're welcome, buddy.
Yes, Justin Parsley. Justin Parsley, by the way, is actually almost like the new spokesman for XTW. Can I say that, Justin, on air? Are you basically the spokesman for XTW on Sportswire?
But, like, I really want y'all to watch my match, commentate, and tell me exactly what y'all think.
All right.
I'm fine with it if Tom is. This is Tom's show.
It's the people's show. So, of course, I'm going to say yes. It's all wrestling matters here. Don't ask me to promote this, but don't ask me to promote this this Jezebel.
No, you ain't got to promote him. You ain't got to promote his promotion.
I'll promote the match. I'll watch the match, but I'm not going to promote this excuse of an individual, this dishonorable man, this intellectually dishonest individual who certainly shows that he's going to have karma strike him. And certainly in the famous words of David Lee Roth in the Van Halen album, Fair Warning, Lord is going to strike that poor boy down because he's going to definitely get that. I promise you. From the words of
Doritos, let's promote the new Baja Fiery Mango. That shit's busting.
Now, do they go hand in hand with the Mountain Dew Baja Blast?
It's like it gives a fiery with like a kind of like a tangy,
So do you think Mac 10 would like this? Because Mac 10's Mr. Mountain Dew.
I don't know. I should have asked him.
I'm gonna take
here's another thing that James actually got to experience yesterday.
Oh,
Um, Anthony Steele was back at the Resi household,
you were.
chit chatting with some of the Resi boys.
So
Oh,
that's where I want to take over because I
good.
got two questions for you, Anthony.
Go for it.
One, why don't you tell us on Sportswire Radio? Tom would like to know. I know that it's bugging him. It's
There's a
bugging
lot of
me.
things that bugs me right now.
What can we get a tease? Is there any tease of anything? Like, could we possibly maybe see something in the future with Anthony and Resurrection? Maybe
Never say never. We're
the
working on it.
three famous
We're
words in this business today. But if some said situation was to happen, and all wrestling matters, right, Tom?
Yes,
And
and
it
Johnny Black
works.
is here. Now, who is Johnny Black? Do I know who Johnny Black is?
I
He
don't
says,
know,
what's,
but
what's the Jezebel, Tom?
what's a Jezebel, Tom?
A,
So if it
a
all
Jezebel
works
is
out,
basically like somebody that did something that, like a charlatan almost. There you go.
I just would like to not promote. I can't promote it because it hasn't happened. But if something happens, ladies and germs, let's make it happen, Anthony. Number 3, the rubber match, the biggest of all time, the one that everybody would be clamoring for. Why not? I don't know. Anyways, I just threw it out there.
we'll have to see,
Now,
man. We'll have to see.
now potentially, where could that take place, though? We know it's
Who
not going to
knows?
happen. We know it's not going to happen in Lafayette. We know that's not going to happen there. Now, I mean,
I don't
unless
even
you
know
guys
where that place is anymore.
now, would you guys want it in Triple W? Those guys would certainly
I'm good.
book the match in
I'm
Racine.
good.
They could.
I'm good.
No,
I'm
no.
fucking good.
What about also in Wisconsin in WCE?
I'm good.
I don't know about that. That'd be pretty cold up there.
If I'm going to Wisconsin, I'm going to face your boy Sean Jovi. The Sean Jovi. You know what it. As you would say, you know what it is, man. I don't care. Show me that you have copyrighted, and I'll stop doing it. But no,
I would
mean,
like
James,
to see that. Yeah, I mean, it's this match we've been talking about for a while. As a matter of fact, it really goes
Well,
back for about a year.
it does, but I kind of feel bad now, Tom. I don't see the excitement in Anthony. Obviously, he's not excited, so we can just move on to the next subject.
Wait. So you wait. No. Not so fast, my
Hold
friend.
on.
In the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. We're not letting this get off the hook. Not tonight here. Not tonight. So you mean to tell me that there's a possibility that this match could happen, right? This rubber match, right? We know it's not going to certainly happen in that company that used to start with an N. That's for sure. But you mean to tell me that there's a possibility that this match could happen after all the talk and all the poo-parring and people from different places were like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And, other places that won't hold the match, but there's a possibility. You mean to tell me that there's a potential opening between the rubber match of James Taylor and the real deal Anthony Steele, and this isn't a figment of anyone's imagination?
I mean, if the fans want to see it, I want to see it. I want to whoop James' ass yet again.
But James would have a different opinion. He may say he's going to whoop your ass, though.
See, but that's the thing. That's the thing.
I'll say this. I heard one man say this years ago, so I'm gonna say it right here. Act 1 and Act 2, they don't matter. The only one that matters, the one that everybody's going to remember, is Act 3. And I think we would tear the house down. And that would be the greatest backyard wrestling match in history.
Hey,
Win,
Copper,
lose, or
go
draw.
rate that one. When it happens, go rate that one.
You know it, Anthony, deep down in your heart of hearts. If you really want it and it was to happen, you and me, win, lose, or draw, wherever we're at, and I'm not saying it because you're right here. I'd say it any different if you were 5 feet in front of me. We would tear the house down and we would steal the show. We would steal the season doing it.
And I think in the business of promotion, listen, we spoke about this a couple of months ago, and it was obviously tabled at that time. But at the end of the day, when you think about backyard wrestling, who are the two names that come up at the top? It's Anthony Steele and James Taylor. Who are the two people that on this platform everybody talks about. It's Anthony Steele and James Taylor. Who are the two people that people are still wondering who is really who's the better wrestler? It's the match that people still feel like that there needs a finality. There hasn't been that chapter that hasn't been closed. Just like any good movie series, right? We're still wondering, what's to say of John Wick? Can we see one more John Wick? We know that we're going to see one more Fast and the Furious.
Yes,
we know that we're going to see one more Mission Impossible at the least. We know that Rocky kept coming back. Rocky Balboa couldn't stop it, right? We knew that.
We got another Bad Boys coming around the corner.
I'm looking forward to
yes,
that.
We got another Deadpool coming around the corner too.
We need to see it one more time. One more for the road. Anthony Steele and James Taylor. The nemesis versus the real deal. Who is the bigger back? You know what? Maybe the winner of this match, the winner is the greatest backyard wrestler of all time, or the most well-known. I mean, who knows? There's so many possibilities. I mean, I'm sure certainly here people, let's say, for example, like Jack Delta would have certainly in the conversation, or Aaron Blaze would be in the conversation, and certainly guys like Jackson Law would be in the conversation.
He ain't in the conversation. Let that be known. He ain't in the conversation.
But they would want to be in the conversation. Whether you
want and is two different things, Tom.
But whether you agree or not, the point is that arguably speaking, in front of me today, you want to throw in Atomic Titan, you want to throw in Joshua Allen, you want to throw in Sean Jovi, you want to throw in Rad Dad, certainly Rad Dad's Days in the Yard. There's a lot of people you could throw out there. I mean, I'm not going to throw out Loose Cannon's name out there, but the point is that this arguably would be maybe for the unofficial title of maybe the greatest yarder of all time. Maybe this would be the match, the finality.
I wouldn't say the greatest yarder.
And I want to say hello to Dustin Alexander, by the way, our Resurrection.
I knew that was him.
Yep. I want to say hello there.
I want to say, James, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say is the greatest. It would determine who the greatest wrestler of the backyard is. It determined what was the greatest backyard match.
Or feud, maybe. You could throw feud out there.
Because the way I see it,
feud and match
is me versus James 3. We've done the, as y'all will call it, hardcore stuff. We've done a traditional one-on-one. I think this would need to be a mix of it. We would need to show the world that we can collaborate both of those aspects of wrestling in one match to make it known that, me and James have been on a level for so fucking long that we're not going to give that up. And I will say this, whether people associate with me or not, I see the rise of Dustin Alexander.
Oh, he's got a win over Jimmy Controversy. He has a victory over the Jimmy Controversy. Let me repeat that. That's who he's beat.
I see what you're doing, man. I seen you when you first started out, and I see you now. And I respect the hustle. I respect everything that you've done so far in your career. You're going places.
A lot of great talent in Resurrection, by the way.
You're going places.
A lot of great
D'Angelo LaFlame, great shit. I got to watch you Saturday night live. It was fucking great shit. Drake the Gold Dragon, great fucking shit. Man, Ronnie Brady.
The West Memphis Kid, Ronnie Brady.
Jack Spade.
He's coming here Monday night.
If we want to talk about it, that was the match, the one-on-one match that never really happened. We set it up, and then
Cameron Cage is a part of Resurrection again. That's a name that James has some history with.
Cam. I know me and you don't see eye to eye, man. I know me and you are rocky, but all y'all guys, man, like y'all have busted your ass to get where the fuck y'all are. Y'all have busted y'all ass to. I'm gonna say something a lot of people didn't think I would say. Y'all have busted your ass to make Resurrection a fucking household goddamn name, where people can sit there and talk in a discussion about Resurrection Wrestling, and that they are legitimately a top threat in the backyard, or as I say, underground fucking industry.
Hey, Jimmy Controversy is great. Listen, Jimmy's been here and he's raved about Resurrection. Jimmy is a part or was a part of the seventh biggest YouTube company in the world. And Jimmy was quoted on Tommy Dreamer's podcast not too long ago and wrestled the man. So if Jimmy Controversy says, you know what, I like Resurrection, that's a pretty big endorsement. That's like having the endorsement of a politician, as a matter of fact. To have his support, that shows you that this is a company that people want to come to. There's a lot of great people out there, Anthony. Jake Matthews is another guy out there. I think a lot of people want to see you wrestle. I got to mention Jake. That's an all-time great yarder. And he's somebody that I think a lot of people would love to see you out there in the ring with.
Talking about that.
Yes.
Promoter just hit me up. I'm gonna have to go. I'll holler at y'all later on. It's time for Anthony still to do some business. So James,
and by the way, I hope that Jake Matthews you do some business with one day.
One day. I told you.
Okay, Anthony Steele, it was certainly great to see you. And thanks for
guys. James, I'll see you Thursday.
That was James Taylor. Boy, Anthony Steele, he said a mouthful there. He said a mouthful. Well, maybe I said more of the mouthful than he did tonight.
Who knows?
Want to flip a coin? So obviously, going back to all this, I mean, let's certainly come back and kind of set the tables for us for the big birthday. But, obviously, yes, 6.2 out of 7 stars. You're feeling good again. And, you're getting ready for Thursday. And, I mean, and even this talk here about Anthony Steele and Resurrection, we'll see about the future, you and him one more time. I would love to see it. I don't know what will happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Did you think you'd make it to 40?
I think I knew I would have. I know I'm probably going to make it to 60 at least, maybe 70.
I hope so. I mean,
yeah.
I tried. How about the lady who's bowling at 99? I said at the beginning of the show, if she's going, you can still go out there. If she's bowling at 99.
There it is. Age is just a number. I mean, I plan on living forever, at least 132, and it doesn't matter whatever the big man upstairs
I actually used to know a guy who was 105. I kid you not. The only reason he died was because a year prior he fell and broke his hip. Otherwise, he was still out. He would sit in front of his house up until like a year and a half before his death. So you never know. You never know out there.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a really big year. This is going to be a really good year. Lots of exciting things going on. I'm part of. If you're ever going through TikTok and you're doom scrolling, you ever see those random ads that pop up? Fun fact, Tom,
I've heard about them. I still am not on TikTok, by the way.
It's just like on YouTube. You know how you see those annoying ads before? Well, there's ads on TikTok that they display. Well, because I have over 50K followers alone on TikTok, I was part.
75K.
I was invited. Yes, 75K actually, as of a few days ago.
Gotta count there a little more. I know you're getting up there in age.
Yeah, right. So I was invited by TikTok to be a part of a creative challenge program where I can make these ads and get paid for them. And I am literally this close to becoming a full-time content creator. After this month, depending on how well I do this month, will determine on if I'm officially a full-time content creator. So that means Taft Taylor no more has to work a 9-to-5 job just on the side. Wow! So I'll be able to.
So
do
you have a chance
full-time.
To be a full-time content creator.
Legit one where I'm making enough money to take care of my family and go on to do bigger and better things as well.
Oh, congratulations! God bless you. Wow, that's a really, really cool thing. I hope you pass. I hope you make it.
Well, I've done a few ads. That's where I was getting at originally, Liz. If you're doom scrolling through TikTok and you randomly see me, but it's not my channel, it's just for a thing, and it's like, what is he doing in an ad? That's what I'm talking about. So you're probably going to see me doing ads and stuff, promoting like products and everything.
Wow, that's pretty cool there. I mean, that's almost like a this is your life kind of moment, promoting products. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting.
Any particular products you want to promote most?
No, I mean, not particularly, but I've done a thing for an app called Photorama, an app called the Moo app. The Photorama is how I got my new photo picture that you see that I look like I'm all professional in.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned it. I think it was on Saturday's show. I think it was Omen or
Yeah.
Loose Cannon mentioned it actually.
What they say?
They were like something about the photo where you looked very different. It was like you had like the jacket, the sport jacket
Oh
on.
yeah, I was all like that. They dabbed me up, and yeah, I got all that taken care of, and because of that, I'm having to promote that, and I
You know
like
what it
doing it.
reminds me of? I got to be honest, you're going to probably laugh, and some people might not know this reference. Maybe Justin Parsley would get it because he's probably got quirky kind of humor like I do. You look like one of those old sportscasters from the old ABC Wide World of Sports.
There you go.
They would go, I was a kid. I remember my uncle was a big sports fan. All he would talk about is Wide World of Sports. And you look like one of those telecasters there that would do the from all over the world. You got that look there, James.
Well, I have another photo, and it's actually on one of my videos I did on my channel where I did for PWF right here. And if you look at it, right above where it says Taft Taylor, there's another picture of me.
Well, we can pull it up here right now because I was actually going to promote that because I was actually going to kind of set the tables for us when we have you Thursday because we're not only going to call this Anthony Steele match, but also I wanted to go over the match you did some commentary for on your page on a Thursday show. But as we see here, where are we going here? We're going to.
All right, so go down and look at the net. Look on my uploads. At the top.
Videos?
At the top. Yeah, videos. Go to videos. That'll work. And then go down, and it's that one right there where it says, what does it say? Shining the end of
PWF Uprising together.
The Prophet's shocking end. Yeah, if you click on that one, the little 4-minute one, not that one, the other one. But anyways, you can see the picture on there. I mean, even if you want to watch,
I see it.
we can watch it real quick if you wanted to. It's 4 minutes long.
That's
it.
Hello and welcome, my fellow operatives.
And you can see how I did all the captions and everything. But this is what I've done, ladies and gentlemen.
The third and final appearance that I've had inside Pride Wrestling Federation. This is the pay-per-view they had at the end of their season 2. And this was the main event. The Prophet Jay Wild, the #1 contender to Jack Delta's PWF Uprising Championship. I make an appearance at the very end of this match, and this is right here, the tail end. I didn't want to put the whole thing on here, but I figured I'd just go ahead and show the end of it. Nice Delta driver right there, and the Prophet had kicked out. These men have been going on for about 15
full screen it, Tom.
If y'all want to see
the
entire match, I guess I could show that later on down the road. But for now,
see the
I wanted
picture?
to show where we were at. And respect Prophet a lot, and been in the ring with him multiple times.
Jack's got a lot more hair now.
Once. And here we are with a few right hands, not as stiff as you think they would be. It looks like he held back just a little bit. I am going to critique a little bit, but nonetheless, still these guys, it was a very humid day that day.
I could see it from outside. I could definitely see that heavy cloud. Oh, here we go.
Daughter or one of his little disciples for his
look behind.
Prophecy. And now he's taking that briefcase that the referee's distracted. Bam, crashes Delta in. Classic story-driven type maneuver to set up the end of this match. Now he's going to set up that big old clothesline from hell that the Prophet does. And wham,
I do like his clothesline. I've always liked his clothesline.
The Jack Delta sets him up for the pin. And
1, 2,
referee 2 and 3. So the winner of the match and the new PWF Uprising champion is the Prophet Jay Wild. Great distraction there. Interesting tale of events and a way to have Jack Delta lose the title due to the distraction because Prophet needed the briefcase to get the thing. But here's where I, Taft Taylor, make my third appearance here on PWF, my final one. And the reason being is because of the match. You saw him interfere in my match at the end of it and attack me, so this is a little bit of payback. Caught him up with that double spine buster.
Oh, it went black.
Flat down his ass. And then I got the title.
Wait a minute. He's got the PWF title, and he hits him right across the head. Right across the head.
Tossed the belt to the side because I didn't care. Then
pick him up.
Hit him with a
stunner.
Knocked him right out of the ring.
Burn Halo now.
Out of that ring. Jack Delta. He defeated me.
I stunned him right out of Tennessee.
So out here to
Yep,
say,
I
well,
remember
you used
this.
to be the champion, and I just thought I'd come out here, shake your hand, show you a little bit of respect. But
Never trust the nemesis.
And drop him on that chin. And then
Now
referees
that would be a
arguing with
match
me.
I'd
I
love
didn't
to
give a
see
damn
again.
at this point, so I decided everybody.
Maybe.
Oh, wait a minute.
Just like the song says, I leave my
Stunning
mark
everybody.
where I've
Oh man, Anthony Steele, you better be
PWF
careful.
here was the
That promoter out there,
left
you're
my
getting
little
one
message,
too. And
stunning Jack
anybody
Delta
else out
right
there,
of Tennessee,
you're
and
next.
sending him back to wherever it is he came from up north. And I got the belt, toss it over there to the new champion,
Love that
and I
toss
let
to
him
the belt.
know.
Tells the storyline, gives him back the title. That was good.
Just like I told him that me and him wasn't over because we had about 2 more weeks. 6 where me and him was going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match, and I was
Wait a minute.
TBW, and here's
Get him out of there.
and I decided to go ahead and
It's
leave my
loud.
knocking him flat on his ass because
Who's
I just did
Cannon?
not
That's you
care.
next.
And I was letting basically the whole PWF locker room know that I was the
Man, this
to
is
beat,
why I wear this
that
man's
I
shirt.
am
This is
everything
why I
that
wear
say
this
I am,
man's
that
shirt.
Taft Taylor
I'll wear
is the
his shirt
tyrant
any day of the
king
week.
in all of
You
wrestling.
damn
Appreciate
straight
it.
I'll
It
wear
makes
it.
a lot of people mad when I say that, but at the same time, I really don't
That's
care
just emotion.
because
That's raw
nobody
emotion.
can stop
This
That's
is
how I'm
why
feeling
we
in the
wear
moment.
this man's
ladies and
shirt. This
gentlemen.
is why
That's all
he's in our
for
Hall of
Thank
Fame.
you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Damn,
I
exception.
mean,
There you go.
that's just
That was fun. That was fun.
it's just raw emotion is what I'm feeling every time I'm out there, you know, and
And that's what
how
I
you-
feel every time you come on a Sportswire and you say something, you come on here and, you certainly make our world a lot more entertaining, a lot more livelier. And that's why we love you. And that's why we can't wait to celebrate this Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're out there watching, come on down. Come join the conversation. Say hello to James Taylor. Wish him happy birthday. Give him a birthday gift. Maybe even talk with them. Share what's on your mind. Share a James Taylor memory. Whether it was in TBW, PWF, whether it was in Resurrection with Anthony Steele or Cameron Cage, or whether it was here on Sportswire. And just share your memories. Share your stories. We want to hear them. And follow James Taylor on Taft_Taylor Instagram, Taft Taylor on YouTube, and TikTok. Very well, James Taylor could be the next content creator to go big. James Taylor is about to do bigger, and he's gonna do. You're gonna do it. I'm telling you, you got this. You got this. You're gonna do it. You're gonna go on to be so big as a content creator. You're gonna just never even have time for the Nemesis sessions anymore. Never even have time.
That won't happen.
But this is what we're so excited about. We can't wait for the future. And is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest here tonight?
Oh, I think I'm pretty good. Just come and check us out on Thursday. I'm excited for it. I didn't have nothing else planned that night. So, Tom, thanks for
I
inviting
can't wait.
me.
I'm pumped up for Thursday. I cannot wait for Thursday night, 10 o'clock. And like I said, be here or be square. This is about this man, what he's done for this sport. This man has given his body. He has given his blood, sweat, and tears. And let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him reaching a milestone that we are so happy we can get a chance to celebrate here on this platform. So if you were Nicholas Crenton, D'Angelo, The Flame, and maybe if you're the guys in Lafayette, you want to go out and celebrate this man, you want to wish him happy birthday, want to bring him back, who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know, but anybody, come on down. Like the Price, like Bob Barker used to always say, come on down and celebrate the Nemesis James Taylor. I promise you, it's going to be one for the ages. Even if you haven't been here before with James live, come on anyway and say hello. Talk to the man, because this is going to be a celebration like no other. As Nicholas Crenton correctly said, kind of like in the original Batman movie, the 1989 movie, we're going to have hot dogs, balloons. We're going to do this to, obviously, like they did for Gotham, to try to make Gotham alive again. We're going to make James Taylor alive and well in the world of wrestling, because he is the true definition of all wrestling matters. And I can't wait. And boy, Anthony Steele said a mouthful, but you know what? I don't even know what we had planned anyway, but we kind of talked about the 7-star match. We talked about Mr. Dragon coming on your show Sunday, and hopefully he'll come on here to Sportswire if we're ever so lucky. And we reviewed your PWF 4-minute match, what you did for Jack Delta on commentary with your Stone Cold Stunners, or the Nemesis Stunners, as I like to call them. And we got to sit the tables for Thursday's show. And I can't wait for all of it. And James Taylor, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Thank you for all that you do here for this great sport. And I cannot wait to celebrate. I might even have a gift for you on Thursday's show. I promise you, I'm going to have something for you. I promise you, I'm going to make sure that we have something on the air to present to you, because it wouldn't be a show without presenting you, my friend, something. And you're always welcome here. Maybe it should really be your show after all. Owen says it's his show, but you know what, James? In many ways, you have made Sportswire your home, and because you have also made Sportswire the house that James Taylor has built. So Sportswire Radio is really the house that James Taylor has built, and I can't wait for Thursday, and certainly looking forward to it, and can't wait to celebrate the big 4-0 with you.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it a lot. It means a lot. And everybody else, thank you that do support me. The ones that don't,
55
like I said
people
before,
watching
just
right
keep
now.
watching.
They're supporting you. And if anybody says that they're not, trust me, they are, because they're watching every time you come on, or you say something on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Trust me, they're watching because they're truly supporting it. Ladies and gentlemen, we were here with the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, to me, the real 7-star wrestler, even though Copper Dragon, Mr. Dragon, Double Dragon, whatever it might be, should have gave him 7 stars. He'll talk about it on the Nemesis Sessions this coming Sunday. But until then, join us Thursday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time on all Sportswire radio platforms as we celebrate the 40th birthday of the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, the first member of our 5th class in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the man who is going to be a more known content creator than Taylor Swift, and certainly more people love James Taylor than Taylor's latest album. You can also catch James with his own PWF company and the Promo Wrestling Federation, all the great things that they do. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of World Wrestling Matters. I'll be back here Wednesday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, with the returning Alan Michaels of TBW, Sportswire Radio's own. Last I saw him, he was talking sports, but now he's talking wrestling again. He'll tell us why, and there'll also be a potential guest tomorrow night, so stay tuned for all that. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all of your support over the years. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire.